Welcome back, Flare community. I hope you're well and having an incredible start to the week as always. Yeah, you guys know what time it is. It's time for the weekly news catch-up. We've got TRT in the house, we've got Professor, we've got Steve, we've got Crypto Granny, Jimmy Thing, AA Best, we've got XRP, Tiny Papa. Who else have we got here? We've got Don in the house, we've got Jason, Avid Traveler. Yeah, hope you guys are well. And yeah, it's going to be time to jump into the news. Lots of exciting things going on this week, including, I guess, the highly anticipated staking. We're going to have a quick peek at that. And yeah, we're going to start with the FTSO metrics. This is Flare Metrics website that shows the reward rate for the various signal providers. And if we start from the top here, topping the charts is Lena Instruments. In second place, we have Flare Dienst. In third place, we have Nortso. Fourth place, Atlas FTSO, or TSO, sorry. And in fifth place, Solarius. So pretty good there. And yeah, what's up, Death Ranger in the house as well. Gonna have a quick peek at the Sparkles rankings. This is in the past 7 days. And something interesting to note is that none of the top collections are actually on the Flare network. I thought that was pretty interesting because I hear a lot of people always asking, is Songbird dead? Evidently not. They're topping the charts this week. Absolutely dominating the charts in terms of NFTs. So in first place, we have the Cybers. In second place, the Loyalties Collection by Gnosis, formerly FLR Finance. In third place, we have the Songbird Apes by Canary Punks. In fourth place, we have the Fat Cats. And in fifth place, we have the Luxury Lofts. Happy days. If we move on to this next tab, it is a very busy October. We've got the hard fork, which completed, and that's staking phase 2 coming soon. We've been assured that this is happening this month in October. There's the integration of Arkham, which is basically a metric site, I believe, which allows you to view on-chain data. We've got Flare Scan. This is actually going to be pretty interesting. I'm going to have a quick peek at that in a second, or what it might look like. And it's going to launch soon for the staking analytics. And there is obviously ETH London, which is hackathon event, I believe. If we move along here, yes, this is to do with the Flare Builders Flare Validator Tracker. If you are interested in staking, this is something that you should pretty much be sure to check out. So this is a list of them all. It's flare.builders/validators. And this is who you are going to stake with. So as you can see here, this is sorted by alphabetical order, I believe. You've got the name of the signal provider and obviously the validator as well. These are actually known as infrastructure providers. It's the two roles combined. But you can also see the amount of fees that they plan to charge. Most are charging 10%. You've got some who are charging 20%. And some a few higher, some a little bit lower as well, actually. We've got 100% there by Flare Portal. Less there for Sparkles at 7.5%. And you can also check out their uptime and which version they're on, all of that good stuff. And like I said, if you do want to visit this website, it's flare.builders/validators. Here's a message from Flare Metrics, and this was actually a post written by none other than Tina. She's at Tina_connects. She's a great follow for anyone in the community who may want to seek some additional wisdom. She's very knowledgeable on all things Flare, and I'd highly recommend checking her out. Do this here actually. It's quite an extensive document, and one thing that I think is particularly important here is adding the footnotes so people can link to the more expansive um, information, right? So great work from Tina. And if we move on here, another great person to follow is Dan Rocky. When the Flow Validator staking opens up, make sure you do your due diligence on choosing the right IP. That's an infrastructure provider. And one of the tools, as we just saw, was this one here, right, by Flare Builders, where you can check their uptime, because I think that's going to be particularly important, and also the fee as well. So where was we? Here we go. Yes. Something to note is that there is a minimum stake, and that is actually 50,000 FLR, and also a minimum lockup period of 2 weeks as well. Now, I believe, if we just go back here one more time, it doesn't say here, but I think the actual IP, so they actually get to specify the fee, but also the lockup period as well. So that's something to take note of, and I'm sure we'll be discussing this in the Discord chats a little bit further and see who can work out to be who's going to be best performing. And it's also going to be interesting to see how many people choose to stake or how many people choose to delegate. But initially, I imagine that the staking rewards will be much higher than that of the delegation rewards. If you're wondering on how to do it, I can't really show you right now because no one can stake right now, right? But I do remember this of the pre-delegation days, and some of you who are watching right now may also remember these type of phrases. It sounds too complicated. No one will ever do this. There's too many steps, right? But I'm sure many of you now sort of delegation, it's sort of bread and butter, right? You can do this with your eyes closed. It may sound complicated, all the steps, wrapping your assets, selecting a signal provider, selecting a percentage, confirming transactions. This is going to be, there's going to be a number of steps that you have to do to stake, but just as easy as it is to delegate, I'm sure it will be to stake. And one of the most important things about, I guess, design and user interface design is that it should really remove any ambiguity. It should be effortless and seamless for you to walk through this wizard of sorts, right? You walk through a step-by-step process and it will just make sense, right? So don't be too disheartened that there are no tutorials right now, because until you can stake, a tutorial cannot be made. But be sure to subscribe, because I will certainly be adding a tutorial, a walkthrough, a guide, whatever you want to call it. As soon as I'm able to, I will do so. This is interesting. We've got FlareScan coming, and they're basically going to be an ecosystem explorer. So similar to Block Scout, which is basically the Flare Explorer or the Songbird Explorer. This is going to be launched by the team by Avascan, however you want to say it, but they're going to also allow for you to look at the metrics for staking as well, and it's going to be a little bit more robust than the Block Scout solution that many of us are familiar with. This is what Avascan looks like. Avascan, potato, tomato. Should I say tomato, tomato, not potato, tomato. But anyways, you can see that they have all of this different information here, and it's quite they're informative. They got all sorts of values. So they've got the total bridged value. You can obviously see the transactions running through at real time, but you can also see which chain this is happening on. And this is going to be important for anyone that may want to dig down, because we know that we've got the P chain and the C chain. These are sort of two different chains that work in parallel, right? And one is for all of the smart contract processing, and the other is for activities like staking. So this is going to be pretty fun. I imagine that their solution is going to look similar to this, maybe with a different lick of paint, for example. So yeah, stay tuned. I'll keep you guys updated as and when we hear more from them. This is I guess a reminder, because a lot of people may get heard about this. So yes, your delegation rewards may have been reduced. Well, this is all about the annual inflation. So the annual inflation at the minute, I believe it's at 7%. Next year, it's going to reduce to 5%. But that's actually split between two different things. Now that we have staking available, 30% is going to go to the staking, the validator rewards, and 70% is going to be from the delegation rewards. So you may notice a 30% reduction in your delegation rewards. That's because it's going to be moved to the staking rewards, right? The important thing to note here is that the inflation, the annual inflation, has not increased to accommodate for staking. The existing inflation, the amount of tokens that are created each year, remains the same, but it's just that these tokens, instead of going to delegators, it's actually going to be a small portion of that is going to go to the validator rewards instead. So something to take note there. Yes, I think this is really one of the big pictures that people need to acknowledge, right? The Flare network is touted to be as blockchain for data, and you can often hear Hugo's talking about data as a public good. Here's a short video that I'd highly recommend checking out. You can find it at Flare Networks on the Flare official account. But the idea that this data is going to be accessible by everyone and quite diverse as well, and scalable and updating very often, it's going to open up some incredible doors for developers. And we're yet to really see this ability to access such a wide range of data from the FTSO, from any other comparable oracles in space. In fact, there are no comparable oracles in the space as far as I'm concerned. Yes, you have Chainlink, but they're fairly centralized, and it's not even on the layer 1, right? It's a layer 2. So the FTSO really is an innovation, Flare time series oracle. And it's sort of also due to be upgraded in the near future, and Hugo was touting a 1000 data series, so that could be prices, it could be all type of different things, and that would update every single block. So on Flare, that's between 1 and 3 seconds. So yeah, I think we're really yet to see power of the FTSO come to fruition, and I'm sure that developers are eagerly looking out and keeping a close eye on this. I certainly am, and yeah, I think the best is yet to come. Talking about the FTSO, if you want to learn how to get the price feed, you can do so here by this this demonstration, or I guess it's not a demonstration, but documentation. You can find it docs.flare.network. I believe Tim Rowley has also created a tutorial, and it is pretty simple, if I'm honest. Here are the current supported assets from the Flare Time series Oracle. We've got ADA, Algorand, ARB, we've got AVAX, BNB, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Filecoin, FLR, we've got Litecoin, we've got Matic, Solana, USDC, USDT, XDC, XLM, and XRP, all for a negligible cost of less than 1 cent. That's pretty crazy in the grand scheme of things, and just imagine once this is scaled to 1000 data feeds. It's going to be pretty powerful. This was pretty interesting, actually. I caught this. So their marketing campaign has started. This is the Flare Network, obviously issuing sponsored content. This is a marketing push, which I believe we definitely needed. The blockchain to connect everything, and here on Meta, Facebook, the blockchain for data. So this is something that I'm particularly happy to see, because I think everyone watching here knows that the Flare network is almost ahead of its time, right? But unfortunately, I don't think many people are aware of the power of the Flare network yet. But that's all going to come in good time, and from my perspective, it's not too bad, actually, because it allows anyone that is interested and is knowledgeable on the network to accumulate until the party gets started. So I can't complain, but I am happy to see this sort of marketing push. This is a message from he started doing threads. Canned DAO. If you haven't seen his Twitter account, it's canned_DAO, and he's created some interesting threads recently He's sort of fusing AI both with the pictures and I suspect the actual content too, which has been tailored. He's created some great threads recently, actually. I'd highly recommend checking him out, and I hope that he continues to create these threads because having that visual representation along with the actual context, the text, it is quite complimentary. So yeah, be sure to check him out. Moving along here, this is the Big Brain Moves. This is a document or an ebook, 16 pages, I believe it is, and it is exclusive for the Patreon members. I sort of released this, I think it was last week, where we was talking about Gnosis and DeFi and what my personal moves are moving forward. So I like to strategize quite often because I feel like with DeFi, there are a lot of opportunities there. This is what I've sort of given to the Patreon members as my way of saying thank you, a little bit of an insight into what's going on in my head. And over the past couple of editions, it's actually proven to be very accurate. So congratulations to all those who may have read it. Single staking is now on the Flare network. So if you don't know what simple staking is, it's the process of doing a single transaction, but behind or under the hood, behind the scenes, what's happening is you enter a liquidity pool, right? But you do this in one transaction. It takes care of the wrapping, it swaps your assets, it provides the liquidity to get the liquidity pool tokens, and then it enters the farm. Pretty powerful stuff, and something that I really like about this is it sort of reduces the barrier for entry. Those who may be wishing to participate in DeFi and sort of dip their toes in and get their feet wet. But one thing that I would say is, if you are participating in DeFi, I see it so often, I would highly recommend learning about DeFi before you do so. If you're worried about impermanent loss, learn about impermanent loss. It's all about education, right? You are responsible for your own assets, your own decisions, and if you're not willing to take that opportunity to learn, then you have no one to blame but yourself. And I'm sure many of you here obviously know all this because we talk about it very often, but for anyone that's new to the space, if you are looking to participate in DeFi, get clued up on acronyms and what everything means before putting your money at risk. And if you are tempted to just have a little play around, don't go all in, just sort of test the waters with a little bit of money. Speaking of DeFi, I guess on the same vein here, there's FeatherSwap, which is a new decentralized exchange, I guess DeFi suite. The full shebang. We've got the DEX, you've got the farming, the staking, all of that good stuff. If you get to see it, this is what it looks like. This is the UI, the user interface, the website, and as you can see that the APRs are actually pretty good. Now, something to note about this is that the liquidity is fairly low. No more than a couple of $1,000, and obviously as increases, your share of the pool decreases, and so does the APR. So an opportunity still exists here for anyone that it may be wanting to look at this. The liquidity is low, so just take that into account, but I thought I'd let you know about that. It's featherswap.xyz if you want to check it out yourself. On to gaming now. Gaming is a use case that I'm really excited to see, right? There's a couple of gaming platforms that are coming out on Flare, one of them being Pickles Warfare. Some of you may have minted some of their NFTs. In fact, we do have some in the Lucky Claw Treasury to give away, the War Chest, and they've actually decided to reduce their launch date until once they've minted 50%, so half of the collection. As far as I'm aware, yeah, it's about 10% that has been minted to date. We've seen quite a few little sneak peeks of this. Maybe we can get one up. Have a quick. As the gameplay, it sort of reminds me of Worms. If you ever played Worms as back in the day. Let's see. Maybe we can't find one to hand. Okay, I guess not. Maybe. Anyways, I'm looking forward to this, and I'll keep you up to date as and when they they're due to launch. Another game that we have is Pixel Chain Games, Pico. I'm sure you've seen me release these before, but it's sort of a card game, right? Obviously, here we have Elon Musk, and you get these weapons and armor and whatnot, but I think it's going to be pretty interesting to watch. And yeah, just keep our eyes peeled. Web3 gaming on Flare, I think it's got potential to be very good. We're going to have to see how it evolves, but these are the two games that I'm looking at the minute. If you do know of any more, please let me know. Got the Flare drop coming in 3 days and 14 hours. So just a little reminder there, we're pretty close. And with the Flare drop, obviously comes a lucky draw. So a lucky claw, lucky draw. If you don't know about this collection, this is a collection that I created, and this is the thumbnail. I'm sure Crypto Granny will test that this is actually quite an accurate representation. But we give away so much things each and every week. 50,000 FLR, we give away NFTs, decent hardware wallets. We've got the physical Flare community, Pokédex, and much more. This is the prize list, and it looks like next week, well, in the next couple of days, we're going to be giving away the 50,000 FLR, Flare community Pokédex, Mandrill's Mineral NFT, a Johnny Lawrence Launch NFT, a Delegator NFT, and also a Sparkton NFT. Yeah, quite a big prize pool. And, you know, this is just the 7th month, and we've got up to 35 months. And there's some interesting things sprinkled in here. We've got the Decent wallets. We've got Pixel Plants by none other than community legend Doc Bob D. We've got, like I said, the Pickles. We've got agents and land packages from the Expector project over on the XRP ledger, and they're actually doing some things on the Flare network too. So yeah, if you are interested, you can pick them up on Sparkles. And I did actually make an announcement last week about anyone that's holding a Lucky Claw can actually claim FCC, I guess, every second. So it's every block. And what you can do with that is you can buy poker tournament tickets and vote in the governance tab, and you can play the card game, something that a lot of people have been really active with. Actually, it's quite funny, and it's quite well balanced. You know, I've had nothing but good responses. You can go to theflarecommunity.com if you do want to claim. All you have to do is click on go to claim, and then click on the Lucky Claw, enter your token ID, the one that you hold, connect to your wallet, and then simply claim. It's very straightforward, and yeah, added a little bonus. And there is actually something special I've been working on. Been working on a project for quite some time now, and I'm going to sort of reveal this in the next month or two. There is going to be a big benefit to people who hold Lucky Claw NFTs. I can't really say much more than that. I'll take a lily pad out of the Kingsman's book and sort of put it in that box. This is just a little bit of a reminder, right? Because with the last couple of days, we've seen the price come down on the market, especially actually today, maybe yesterday as well, depending on where you are. Price versus value, there is a very stark difference, right? Just to summarize this, you know, you have the price, which refers to price that you pay, and that can be influenced by the supply and demand dynamics, the market sentiment, and external economic factors. Market sentiment here is something that should really be in bold, because, you know, when the market is down, a lot of people are actually they question their investment choices, right? But, you know, if, for example, there was an example that I read today, it was about XRP. Someone was saying that the price of XRP has decreased to the point where it was before ruling from Judge Torres, right, giving XRP clarity. And then I just asked, you know, is XRP or any other asset, is it more valuable as time goes by, as people are building, as it's getting more legal clarity, as more integrations take place? You know, price is sort of irrelevant. And if you have a long enough time horizon, then the price is just white noise, right? What you want to be doing is investing in value, right? This comes from things like utility. problems that the assets or the network solves, the underlying technology behind assets, and the potential for adoption and growth. Here we go. So this is just a little takeaway here. Within digital assets, or with digital assets being so volatile, there is often discrepancies between price and value. When identified, these can offer significant investment opportunities. That's the hard bit of being an investor in this space. We know generally cryptocurrency and digital assets, blockchain technology, whatever you want to call it, it's almost inevitable that it will be integrated within our lives, within our daily lives. It should become ubiquitous, right? And I think that's evident from elements that we see on a daily basis, right? It's only going in one direction. Now, yes, you can sort of be lucky by being in the market of this space because, a rising tide lifts all boats. But if you pick the right assets, then it can serve to do really well when a bull run occurs and the institutional money really comes in. Now, best thing that you can do is sort of research these projects for yourself, find projects that are doing something a little bit different, something that's unique, and from my perspective, Flare Network is definitely one of them. We've got the FTSO. They're providing data very large scale, very frequently, and for a negligible cost. Got the idea of bridging with Layer Cake, with the state connector, right? Bridging assets onto the network and being able to unify all of these networks into a single environment. Very powerful stuff. And yeah, that's something just to think about. So that pretty much wraps up this week's news. If you are a member of the Patreon family, please feel free to come over to the Flare Community Discord, scroll right to the bottom here, and we're going to be jumping in the Patreon call. I hope you can make it, but if not, have yourself an incredible week as always. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'm out.
We have liftoff.